Hello and welcome to Marco on Markets. This channel is for educational purposes only and shares my personal opinions and investment process. Nothing in this video should be taken as financial product advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any investment. Always do your own research and consider obtaining advice from a licensed financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Good morning. It is Thursday morning and it's 10:06 a.m. The market is expected to open 0.11% lower. I'm a bit late. I think the market definitely has opened. So let's just do a little quick refresh. We'll have a look at the market as a whole. And it actually is 0.5% higher. So that indicator was a little bit out. So it was supposed to be down 0.1% and it's actually opened higher 0.5%. We'll have a look at my short list. I did sell out of my Commonwealth position last night. If you have a look at that video, it did sell after hours. So that was a nice surprise at about 4:10. Actually, in the video, if you look closely, the price was lower at the start of the video, just as market was closing, and then later in the video, the price had jumped and my trade had gone. So that was nice. So let's look at my top stocks. The ones that have increased. ASX grew up 0.71%. That's the only trade I've got at the moment. JB Hi-Fi 0.5%. Sigma up 0.3%. CBA up 0.17%. And on the ones that have fallen, Aristocrat down 0.17%, Macquarie down 0.11%, and ANZ 0.08%. So pretty flat for most of them, really. There's no real outliers there and nothing to excite me. I'll have a look at the top movers for the ASX 200. Okay, so looking at we'll look at the losers first. So it looks like we've got a fair few technology stocks in there. Okay, Beach Energy down 4.4%. We've got Pinnacle Investments down 2.39%. They did have a pretty good increase yesterday. So if we just have a quick look at the 5-day chart, yeah, they did increase around 8 or 9% yesterday, and now we're just having a bit of a correction, it looks like. So down 2.3%. WiseTech Global down 2.2%. They also did have a bit of an increase in the last few days as well. So if we have a look at the 5-day chart there, so yesterday they did have an increase and it actually did climb even further. So if I pull up the chart, just a 5-day one, and get my measuring tool out. So from close on Tuesday to close on Wednesday, it was up 5.5%. So now it's pretty much still at an increase of about 2% over those 2 days. So just repeating that, WiseTech Global down 2.2%. We've got Block, that's a payment gateway, used to be Afterpay, is down 2.2%, and Life360 is down 1.1%. They've had some good increases also over the last few days. So let's just have a look at the 5-day chart there. You can see sort of since the low on Monday till today, it's up 15% this week. So although it's down today, maybe there's some profit takers. Okay, so let's have a look at the stocks that have increased. So we've got AMP VAU, which is Red 5. I'm not sure what that one is. So let's have a look at AMP is the leader there at 6.88%. That's an investment company. It's, yeah, it's got a long history, AMP. I'm not a big fan. I mean, they were caught up in the Royal Commission and, they were charging dead people service fees, and it's struggled. When many years ago, it was like 12, $13. Let's have a look at their share price. They just sort of never really recovered, I feel. All right, so this goes back to, oh yeah, there we go, to the 2000s there. It was at around $16. I think I did try trading many years ago in the early 2000s, and I think we got caught up here. I think we had it for around $11 and sold out at about 8, but that's amazing. It did fall. So from the peak to today, it's down, 88%. So that's a really good example of, even a big blue chip stock can sometimes fall and never recover because it was very well respected back in the day. Look, it suffered quite a few. This is around the Royal Commission here, around the 2018 mark. They really got punished from at that time. But it had already had quite a big decline, as you can see there. So, look, it's just one that I just don't really like to even look at. So, but it's interesting that they're up 4.5%. And I suppose as new investors come into the market, like the younger people, they're not going to really potentially know the history, or they might look at it with fresh eyes, which it probably deserves, after, I don't know, 15, 20 years later, sort of thing. But well done to them for staying alive for so long. So wealth management is a great business, and investing, you're really just, not just, I shouldn't dumb it down, but you are managing other people's money and taking a fee. You're not purchasing, goods and producing things. You're using intelligence to deploy people's money, give them a return, and as long as you can keep their capital intact, and return a reasonable return, most investors are happy, and they will stay. So then we've got gold up 7.17%. That's Vault Minerals. They're a gold stock. Genesis Minerals also do gold. It's up 7.3%. Another gold stock, Alkane, up 5.3%. So we're definitely seeing a gold theme going on. And another one, Evolution Mine, 6.3%. So gold is having a very good day. So we'll have one more look at the overall market. It's still up 0.58%, so that gain is holding there for the All Ordinaries. I'll just have to have a look at a buying opportunity now. So we've currently just got the one long-term stock that's down 63% or so, Accent Group. So nothing's going to happen there today. I've got 3 parcels of money to deploy. So what I'm going to look at is anything that's dropped today. I'm not getting that. I'm going to look at the increases and see if there's any just modest increases. Yeah, look, nothing's standing out. JB Hi-Fi, I like that stock, but it's at a higher price than I'm used to paying, so I don't feel comfortable with that. All the banks have increased now. They did have a little drop yesterday. CBA the most. I did jump on that yesterday. I think I probably missed a buying opportunity earlier today. I'll just watch that, see how that goes. I think yesterday I purchased at 75.98, so just under the $76. And then I sold out at 78.23, which sold after market. And I didn't take full profit. Full profit was going to be at 79.87. So that would have been on still today. It may get there today, but that's okay. I was happy to take a 1% gain on the same day, which I do. I am like flexible with my strategy. So if it's the same day, I'm very happy with it. 1% gain. Um, Other than that, I think that's about all I've got today. Let's just have a quick look at the overseas market. Overnight, we had a bit of movement. It's coming into reporting season. I saw an article last night, Alan Kohler, just showing a graph on, how the earnings of a lot of the American companies is really climbing. So their economy is going gangbusters. Um, yeah, so they're coming into reporting season, which sort of addresses my comment a couple of days ago about some of the US stocks and how they have been bouncing around a lot. And I think Microsoft, it was up like 15% one day, which is huge for such a huge company. So we had Google down 4% overnight. Roblox, I just follow that one out of interest because the kids, used to play it. And I think back in the COVID day, it was a bit of a meme stock. It's had a pretty rough ride. Let me just show you their graph. I can't remember what they got up to. It was like, I'm pretty sure they got up to like $140 or something. And I had considered buying it, but only because the kids were into it. Yeah, so it got to 140 and today it's if I put the stick on there, the measuring stick, yeah, so it's down like 75%. So another example. Look, that one climbed so quickly. You have to be very careful of that when you see a stock climb so quickly and then fall away. It's just like, I'm not saying it never comes back, but it's much better if they go sideways for a while and then increase sort of more slowly. These big steep increases often, I'm not going to say always, but they often have a steep fall down the other side. Something that looks like a mountain. I think some professionals call it head and shoulders. So yeah, you got to be careful of that. So that was Roblox. Tesla, I'm just interested in the whole Elon Musk story. I think he's a bit of a genius, and I'm a bit of a fanboy, I must admit. But yeah, it's had a bit of a pretty steep drop just recently. I might have mentioned it a couple of days ago, but let's do the 3-month chart. I just want to point out, just say from July, end of July to a couple of days ago, it's down 30%. Yeah, in 28. Sorry, that's the end of June. Apologies. End of June down to, let's just do today, to be fair. It's down 24% in 28 days. So, yeah, it's amazing how that can move. Look, I generally don't trade US stocks, mainly just for, you know, the currency reasons and transferring currency. I believe NAB actually now you can get an account that stays in the currency, so the money doesn't have to go backwards and forwards. And what I'm getting at there is previously, if you wanted to purchase internationally through NAB trade, they would take your funds, at Australian dollar amount on the conversion rate. And then if you sold it, then you would immediately get that back in Australian dollars. But each time there's a currency conversion rate. So um, you basically lose like 3% each way. So, say you put in, what's a good example? Let's say you put $10,000 in, the foreign currency effectively would be like $300, and then say you sold it for 15,000, so you've got a gain of 5,000 US dollars, and so you get to 15,000, you sell, and then you have to pay. Well, they don't make you pay as such, but because of the foreign currency exchange, you end up losing another, say, $450 plus the brokerage on top of that. But now I believe you can just put money into a US dollar trading account, and that money just sits there. And so that's really good because you only pay the foreign exchange on the way in, and then on the way out whenever you make a withdrawal. And in between, the funds just sit there in the US dollar, so you don't have that constant backwards and forwards. So Tesla, yeah, I think it's been at $400, around that $400 mark for a fair while. I mean, it's had a dip here. I'm not sure if that was when Elon was becoming Donald Trump's right-hand man, and I think the shareholders didn't like him getting involved in the politics, and then he pulled the pin on that somewhere a little bit later, and then I'm not saying that's the only reason. Of course, there's always other reasons, but that was a reason why the market didn't like what he was up to. So anyway, it's at $320. I just watch that out of interest. And I might just add SpaceX, just out of curiosity. It's not something I would buy. I think it's this one here. But I had, just out of curiosity, I'm just going to put it on the list so we can just monitor that as time goes on. And let's have a look at their graph chart. And then 1 year. Yeah, so that's the floating. I'm not sure if this is the right one. I felt like it was, oh, that's a exchange traded fund. Okay, so let's try again. Space X. Is it this one? No. I might just ask Chat GPT space X ticker code. Right, this is the one. Yep. So add that to overseas, and we'll keep an eye on that one there. So let's have a look at the graph. Yeah, that's right, because I heard on the news this morning it had dropped 13%. I think the investors weren't happy with Elon's comments about how much money he was going to spend on AI and stuff. So yeah, there it is. I think at the IPO, yeah, don't quote me on it. I think it was $135 US. Actually, I think this article might, yeah. So IPO'd at 135, which was here. I'll just put the calculator on. So it IPO'd at 135, which is here, and it opened 26% higher on the first day. So if you'd purchased the IPO, you would have had that benefit there of that 26% or so higher. And then since then, it has dropped quite a bit. So it's dropped like 37%. So it's currently at $108. Look, when a stock first IPOs, it doesn't always get that initial gain. There usually is a bit of hype. Yeah, it's not until some time later. It's like I akin it to like a new restaurant. A new restaurant opens the first 3 weeks, it's busy, quiet, crazy, and then it starts to calm down. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. It's not something that I would buy. And other than that, I have one more look at the total market, up 0.64% still, so that's great. And I'll just have a look at my watch list again. Any movement? Pretty much the same as before. Nothing much has changed there. JB Hi-Fi is really kicking on now. It's 1.5% up. The banks are heading into positive territory, up around that 0.5% to 1% gain. I'll have a look at just one other watch list that I have. It's got a few different things in it. So yeah, we're seeing WiseTech Global down 2.39. I mentioned that before. Catapult, that's a sports product where they wear, like the umpires and the professional athletes, they wear this like body, I'm not going to say body suit, but this contraption that straps onto their body, and it monitors and does all the statistics of distance they've traveled, and um, heart rate and all this sorts of stuff. And I think it feeds back to the managers and the trainers. Yeah, interesting. I just heard that a couple of years ago, so I just watched that one. And on the lead is on this list, we've got REA Group up 2.4%, Satire up 2.2%, SRG, that's a Sydney casino. I just watched that out of interest. Yeah, it's been unbelievable, the drop it's had. And Domino's Pizza up 1.5%. And I think that's it. All right, well, I'll leave it there. If there's any movement or I look like putting on a trade, I will do another video. Otherwise, I'll do market close this afternoon. All right, have a great day. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel.